Game 4 between the Jayson Tatum-less Celtics and the Knicks. The Knicks, they can end this. I mean, all they got to do is win, which a lot of times is easier said than done. So the question is for the Celtics, who is going to step up? Well, it was Derek White early on, sort of picking up where he left off in the previous game, 1-3 after another, because he made 4 of them just in the first quarter. He said, look, this team did not want this season to end tonight. No, they did not. Later in the first, Knicks down 5, getting a little chippy, at least with Josh Hart's face. He is leaking. That is an inadvertent elbow. That's a lot of blood from Luke Cornett. I mean, that's a lot of blood. We saw that in boxing the other night.
Is it a boxing match?
He quote-unquote received care, never left the bench, came back in, led the Knicks with 24 points. Then in the third, these two just, tit for tat here. Jaylen Brown, impressive second quarters. Game tied at 44, Celtics up 2. Then the Knicks up 1. Brunson gonna kick it out to Hart. That is a 3. Knicks back up 1. Back and forth we would go. Brown, White, 3.
Oh, yeah.
Brown, catch and shoot, making the 3. Is it going to surprise you when I say Brunson scored or assisted on 27 of the Knicks, 59 in the first half, and Brown scored or assisted on 34 of the Celtics, 59 in the first half? These two teams tied at 59 at the break. Now we go to the third. And early in it, wait for it, still tied at 65. White, because this dude made 7 of those. Celtics up 3. Here's another one. He's the first player in Celtics postseason history with 6 or more three-pointers in consecutive games. Consider that history, will you? He finished with 34 points. The Celtics played with a sense of urgency, and they stretched their legs in the third. They outscored the Knicks by 15. Meanwhile, Cornett having himself a block party. 5 blocks in the third, period. That's it. Tied for the most by a Celtics player in a quarter in the last 25 postseasons. He finished with 10 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 blocks. He's the 4th Celtics player with 7 blocks in a playoff game since 1973, 1974. Meanwhile, Brown, 26 points, 8 rebounds, and 12 assists. The Celtics are doing their thing without Jayson Tatum, who is just sitting there post-Achilles surgery, watching his team win and keep their season alive. Celtics 127-102 over the Knicks.
4 hours ago, we just had to win 1 game. Now we just have to win 1 game, and that's just kind of how you have to look at it. So those plays that impact leads and impact winning, transition, leak out dunks, offensive rebound threes, the momentum plays, the things that can impact us, we minimize those tonight. At the end of the day, you don't get to pick the test that you have. You just pick how you respond to them, and that's kind of how life works,
Just continue to be aggressive, continue to trust in my game and my development. Tonight was able to find like a flow, a rhythm in the game. We played with a different pace. I know it's easy to kind of write things off. Obviously unfortunate what happened to JT, but we still got basketball to be played. I believe in this group, so, don't count us out just yet.
And Jaylen Brown is now the 4th Celtics player with 25 points, 10 assists, and 5 rebounds when facing elimination. Look at the royalty.
That's good, right?
He joins Larry Bird, John Havlicek, Bob Cousy. I mean, that's the definition of good.
We didn't play for 48 minutes, and the start of the second quarter, we didn't play well. We had a lead. Didn't play tough with the lead. Came out to start the third. Didn't play well there.
That third quarter, there was a lot of frustration, and that seeped into everything that we were doing. We got to make sure we control what we can control, and that's our communication, that's our effort, that's our intensity.
Just kept fighting, and they just kept going. We just can't keep putting ourselves in those situations, especially when it was close at half.
What impressed you the most about Jaylen Brown's performance Wednesday night?
Just how he was a leader. He proved everybody that doubted him wrong and showing that he can be the guy. Everybody keeps questioning him because Jayson Tatum's such an unbelievable talent that they're like, oh, he should have won Finals MVP or he shouldn't have been this. And he's the guy. He showed that he's capable, he's very willing, he's able to do so. He led that team to victory tonight. Derek White stepped up, played well. Drew Holiday stepped up. Peyton Pritchard did what he's supposed to do. So they're a very capable team of winning games and extending the series. I don't know if they can do it 3 games in a row, but they're definitely a team that can win without Jayson Tatum and beat some really good ball clubs.
Yeah, Danny, let me just say, it's good to have back-to-back nights with us chatting some basketball. Appreciate you.
Pleasure's always mine, man.
Appreciate you staying up late with us.
Appreciate you.
Jaylen Brown, post-game on overcoming Tatum's injury.
The air kind of left the room after hearing the news with JT. So, you know, we didn't want to go out like that. We didn't want to make no excuses. We didn't want to come out and give up or just turn the season in like what everybody else probably would expect.
So seeing our brother go down was tough. And, I mean, he texted us today before the game, like he's cheering us on. So none of us want to go home. We understand that it's only going to get tougher. We haven't done anything yet. Just got to find a way to go to New York and win a game.
Joined now by Brian Windhorst from TD Garden in Boston. Windy, how did the Celtics prepare in the 24 hours leading up to this win after losing Jayson Tatum for the season?
Yeah, they had a team meeting on Tuesday, and before they went over the game plan for Game 5, Jaylen Brown and Al Horford spoke to the team, talked about how they needed to react. They talked about the importance to send the message to Jayson. And then on Wednesday, the team got a message from Tatum after he was recovering from his Achilles surgery, encouraging them, telling them that he would be bouncing back, and he was hoping that they would play great without him tonight. And you definitely saw the Celtics play emotionally at times. It didn't have the smoothest start to the game, but in talking to their players afterwards, they do think that they were able to bounce back quickly after getting that message from Tatum and also hearing from their veteran teammates.
You could sense the urgency that the Celtics had on their roster. Jaylen Brown had a career high in assists. Derek White had 34 points. But why do you think the biggest factor in this game was a backup big man?
Yeah, I really do think the turning point in this game was when Joe Mazzulla went to Luke Kornet to start the second half. He was a complete difference maker at the defensive end in the third quarter with the 5 block shots. Now, Mazzulla said that he made the decision because Kristaps Porzingis, who has been dealing with this upper respiratory illness for several months, could not breathe, and that it was really a decision made about the health, not made as a strategy decision. However the decision was made, the strategy made a huge difference. Kornet said that he was advised at halftime he was getting ready to come out and start. He just put his mindset on trying to get as many shots altered as he could. And he said sometimes you have a hot hand when you're shooting, and sometimes you have a hot hand when you're blocking shots. You see the ball well and things just come your way. He said that happened, and it was a big moment, and he was stunned when he walked off the court at the end of the third quarter and was requested to do the in-between quarter interview, and he said he was tired and he wasn't as witty and charming as he wished he would. That was his only regret from the evening.
Yeah, this series now heads to MSG as the Celtics try to do something that we haven't seen since the Denver Nuggets did it in the bubble. That's come back from 3-1, and they did it twice in the bubble, Windy. Appreciate your time.
I know it's easy to kind of write things off. Obviously, unfortunate what happened to JT, but we still got basketball to be played. You know, I believe in this group, so you know, don't count us out just yet.
What disappointed you most tonight about the performance?
A lot. A lot.
How important is it to get the W in this very next game at home?
I mean, that's just such a stupid question. I mean, every game that you want to win, bro. Like, there's no added anything. Like, every game you want to go out there and win. It doesn't matter where, if it's at home or away. Like all that question is stupidity.
Well, the Celtics have been living and dying by the 3-ball all series long. Their 2 wins, Boston's averaging 21 threes per game and shooting 47% from beyond the arc. You compare that to the 3 losses, they've shot just 29%. So Boston is going to try and force a Game 7 Friday night on ESPN.
All right, let's break it down with Danny Green, who's back with us in studio for this SportsCenter. And Danny, look, Jayson Tatum's a superstar, but basketball's still a team game, and the Celtics get it done without him. What was your biggest takeaway from how they performed?
That Jaylen Brown is the guy, and he can be the guy. He's proven it before, time and time again in the past. Eastern Conference MVP, Finals MVP. Like, he's shown that he can be the guy. And tonight, he was a leader. Started with him. Derek White played unbelievable. Drew Holiday stepped up. Peyton Pritchard stepped up. They have enough pieces to get it done. I don't know if they can win 3 in a row, but they can definitely stretch the series.
You didn't even mention Luke Kornet. Come on, man.
Luke Kornet. It's something like Al Horford. There's a bunch of guys they have there that are really good. So they're a talented team.
Do they force a Game 7, or do you think it ends in New York?
I think it's over in New York, honestly. I just don't know if they can withstand the Garden on the road and shoot that way. They shot very well tonight. I don't know if they can do that again on the road. And Knicks won't play as poorly as they did as well.
All right, let's go to Game 5 of the Warriors versus the Timberwolves. The Warriors have never lost 4 straight playoff games under Steve Kerr. The Wolves, they're seeking back-to-back conference finals appearances for the first time in franchise history. Pick it up in the second quarter. Wolves up by 4. Anthony Edwards, that's in your face. He's feeling himself after that. Yeah, that's a shooter right there. Halfway through the second, Warriors down 43-38. Off the miss, Jonathan Kuminga says, look out below. Throws it down like dominoes. You play dominoes, Nicole, at all?
No, I do not.
Then you would throw it down just like that.
Okay.
90 seconds left in the half. Wolves up. Edwards kicked to Julius Randle. He was dialed in from deep. Steph Curry shakes his head in disbelief. He was not feeling that. Look at him celebrating all that. I like it. Wolves up by 12 now. Draymond Green misses a 3. Jaden McDaniels gets aboard. Finds Randle. He had himself a great first half. 20 assists in the first half for the Wolves. Their most in a half in franchise history. They lead 62-47 at the break, third quarter. Wolves up 15. Edwards, outlet to Randle. Minnesota then finds Edwards, and that's 2+1. Edwards joins Kevin Garnett as the only T-Wolves players with 1,000 career playoff points. He's a hooper. Little over a minute left in the third. Wolves up 23. Butler misses a floater. Randle gets aboard. We're going coast to coast over here. When you go coast to coast, you earn a little bit of flight miles, Nicole. Wolves lead 93-72 at the end of fourth quarter. Warriors have cut the deficit to 12. Butler finds Moses Moody. He nails that. Warriors down 9. Very next Wolves possession, Edwards. He says, well, I'll answer back with this. That's threes, please. Wolves back up 102-90. Next Warriors possession, Butler has the ball stolen by McDaniels, and he runs a break and the slam. Minnesota retaking control of this one. McDaniels plays both ways so well. Under 4 minutes to play, Edwards drives and sends some airmail to McDaniels. Crowd fired up. Curry and Green hug as their season comes to an end. Edwards, career high 12 assists to go along with 22 points. Wolves in 121-110 and advance to the Western Conference Finals. New on SportsCenter, Anthony Edwards at the podium.
Just how he creates for others, and his impact on the game. The way he controlled the tempo, the way he pushed the pace, the way he brings us along with him when he pushes the pace, and just even his defense. His defense has gone to another level. The way that he communicates with us, like his attention to detail, everything, man. It's incredible. It's incredible to be his teammate, and he brings it every night, and he shows you that he wants to win. So I'm happy to have him next to me.
You were confident last season after the Western Conference Finals that you would be back here. I think you said we will be back. What fueled that, and what did you have to do over the course of the season to get here individually and collectively as a group?
A lot of ups and downs. Just had to stay with it. And what fueled it? I mean, we lost last year, so just, trying to take that into the summer. I didn't have too much personal workout time because I was with the USA team, but the time that I did have, I definitely had that in the back of my mind.
Rudy, from the winning team to the losing team, Draymond Green at the podium.
Without Steph. It sucks to end it without Steph, but they beat us. Injuries are a part of it. We've won championships. When guys got hurt, that's a part of it. You try to, you want to be as good of a team as you can be, but we always say you need a little luck, just because health is a huge part of it. So, we definitely miss Steph. That obviously goes without saying, but I'm not going to come up here and harp on Steph not being there and make it like their win is less of what it is. They're moving on. Congratulations to those guys. They beat us regardless. You're on the other side. You play who's on the floor, and that's what they did, and they won. So you got to give them a lot of credit.
You obviously thought that this team had championship potential when everyone was fully healthy against the Rockets and in Game 1. How close do you feel like you guys got to your ceiling?
I think we've continued to improve. There's no way to really say, how close we got to a ceiling is over. So that's kind of, it really don't matter. But like I said, get them a lot of credit. They were incredible. Drew Drew played great the entire series. Ant-Man's patience was beautiful. Rudy played really well, so you got to give those guys a lot of credit. Our ceiling is, it is what it is. Now we were a second-round team.
ESPN NBA analyst and three-time NBA champion Danny Green joins us now on SportsCenter, and of course, that's my guy. Good to see you, man. The Timberwolves advanced to their second straight Western Conference Finals. How can Minnesota use the momentum from this series against the Warriors in the next round?
That's the tricky part, man, because they had a really good series, and they've been playing well so far, but it's crazy to say a team that makes it to the Western Conference Finals is not really battle-tested. They had a lot of turnovers tonight. They played well throughout the series. They handled business, did what they're supposed to do, but they're going to play against a really tough team that comes out of OKC Denver series, and I don't know if they're ready yet. In most postseason victories, you want that series to prepare you for the next one, and I don't know if this one did it. With Golden State, a Steph-less Golden State Warriors team, just not really a maximum or a playoff team, really. So they played against a wounded animal, and they took care of business like they were supposed to, but I don't know if it's preparing them for their next round.
Yeah, so as for those Golden State Warriors, let's talk about how they should attack the offseason and try to get back to their championship ways. What do you think they have to do?
That's going to be a tough one. They have a really good foundation with Steph, Jimmy, and Draymond, and they have Podziemski and some young pieces, Moses Moody, and some other guys, Trace Jackson. I like the pieces. I don't know what they're going to do with Kuminga. It's going to be an interesting offseason for him. So that's something they need to figure out. But honestly, unless they get Giannis, that window for championship is closed in my eyes. I don't see them maximizing Steph's last couple of years or Jimmy's last couple of years unless they get a guy like Giannis. I don't see KD walking back through that door. So I don't know what prospects or free agents they can get. But it's going to be an interesting offseason for them, and it's going to be tough to get back to where they were a couple of years ago.
Oh, it's a big coulda, shoulda, woulda. If that man had stayed healthy, what could have happened for the Warriors? Instead, over is the season, getting bounced by the Timber Pups in 5 games. Warriors now moving on to the vacation portion of the program. Youngmisuk is with us now, just left the Warriors locker room. What are they saying about the season ending and the injuries that really just tarnished the final run?
I asked Steve Kerr after the game, will you think about this postseason and say, what if? What this team could have done had Steph Curry stayed healthy. Let me just be clear. Golden State was relentless about praising Minnesota. Draymond Green even said that the Timberwolves have a chance to win it all. But when I asked Steve Kerr that question, Kerr said, I don't have to think about it. I know we had a shot. I know we could have gone the distance because they had survived that first-round series, upending Houston in 7 games. And in that game 1, Steph was playing very well. The Warriors were playing well when Steph got hurt. So this team will go into the postseason wondering what if, what they could have done, how far they could have gone with a healthy Steph Curry. I asked Draymond Green, remember, he famously said in the All-Star break after they got Jimmy Butler that we're going to win a championship. I said, do you still believe that? He said, absolutely. His belief is not changing that at all. But he did say, in the offseason, every team gets better. We're going to have to get better.
It's a little bit like Danny Green said, they need to add a big piece. Otherwise, that championship window is closing. Safe travels, Ohm. Scooby and Nicole back with you on SportsCenter. It is a season over. Timberwolves in 5 over the Warriors. New on SportsCenter, Steve Kerr.
It was a fight. Really proud of our guys. They hung in there and they battled the whole way through, and quite a turnaround in our season, from where we were a few months ago to giving ourselves a chance and having a swing at the plate, for injuries are, part of the playoffs. I learned a long time ago, the playoffs are really about health. Jimmy changed our season. Flipped everything for us, gave us a chance. We became one of the best teams in the league. And obviously, you get to the final 8 in the NBA, you're one of the best teams. And we had a shot, but, things didn't go our way. But like I said, Minnesota deserves the credit. They were the better team.
It hasn't gone the Warriors' way since Game 1. It was 4 straight losses after the Game 1 win, and the Warriors are now done for the season. This is also incredible because it's the first time Steve Kerr has lost 4 straight playoff games as a head coach in his 152-game career. It's the 3rd most games coached before the first 4-game losing streak. It's literally only Phil Jackson and Red Auerbach. And it should be noted that Auerbach actually never lost 4 straight playoff games in his career.
You know, we've had a season full of adversity, and I mean, Coach said at the end of the regular season, we didn't do anything as far as trades or fire coaches. We just stuck together, and we got through it together. So I'm super proud of our team, man. Everybody has stepped up in some type of way this year, and we got win number 8. Got to keep going.
The most together team and the most mature team is a team that wins around this time. It's not about who get 30 points, who get the most shots, who get all the blame for winning the game, and it's not about none of that. It's about coming together as a team. Can we defend at a high level, and can we limit the other team to one shot? It doesn't really matter about offense. As long as we get good shots, and it don't matter who shoot it. So we did that tonight.
As we mentioned, the Wolves just shooting lights out, especially from inside the arc. So 63% overall, but they shot 77% from two-point range. That's the best mark by any team in a playoff game in the shot clock era. And they made 31 layups and dunks, tied for the most by any team in a playoff game since player tracking began in 2014 per Genius IQ. Warriors have to wonder what would have happened if Curry were available.
I don't even have to think. I know we had a shot. I know we could have gone the distance. Maybe we wouldn't have, but it doesn't matter. Again, everything in the playoffs is about who stays healthy and who gets hot. There's a little bit of luck involved. We've been on both sides of that, and it's just part of it.
It sucks to end it without Steph, but they beat us. You know, injuries are a part of it. We've won championships. When guys got hurt, that's a part of it. You know, you try to, you want to be as good of a team as you can be, but we always say you need a little luck. If we're healthy, if all of this and if all of that, then it may be different. We don't know. But we're going to take our chances for sure if Steph is out there. But, we'll come back and figure this thing out, and next year do the same thing.
In off-the-court news, the NBA fined Draymond Green $50,000 for questioning the integrity of game officials. Green fouled out late in Game 4 against Minnesota and later made a reference to the point spread for the game. Warriors were down by 6 when Green made the comment, and the spread was Minnesota by 5.5 at Sportsbooks. They get rid of the Warriors, playing without Steph Curry. But Denver and OKC looks like it could be more of a challenge if those teams are healthy against Minnesota. How do they stack up there, given the way they played in this series?
That's the one thing that I'm concerned about. If I'm a Minnesota Timberwolves fan, I'm concerned that my team, which is crazy to say, is not battle-tested enough going into the Western Conference Finals. You usually want the series that you win to prove and test you for the next series to come. I don't know if there's a Stephless Warriors team was good. They're solid, but they were not a good enough team to test you for what's about to come. And what's about to happen is that Denver OKC series is going to be one for the ages for us to watch. And the one matchup that they match up with, I don't know if they're going to be ready for it. They showed a lot of immaturity, some turnovers tonight, but they played well, took care of business. Now Ant can rest his ankle. Hopefully they refresh and get ready for that next series.
Meanwhile, for the Warriors, it's an off-season once again where they have to try to figure out how to move forward. What do you see for them?
I see it being very tricky. They don't know. We don't know what they're going to do with Kuminga. Are they going to match him? Are they going to extend him? He's a very good piece. He's a young guy. Outside of that, it's a bunch of, there's older gentlemen that they have that are very good still. They have a good core with Jimmy, Draymond, and Steph, but they're going to be a year older. And unless they get Giannis or KD, that window is shut for me. I don't think they have championship contention anymore. They have to find some young pieces to surround them with unless they get another younger star, which I don't see happening. It's only be a couple of years left. We're going to see a Steph and Draymond and Jimmy, and I don't know if they're going to be in contention anymore.
When you call them old, gentleman doesn't really soften the blow that much.
Older basketball players. They're still very they're younger than me, but they're older in terms of NBA, which is the OKC is 21 average, 20-year-old average, so they're just a little bit older.
We got it. I'm just busting your chops. Thanks, Danny. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.